Hello stock gurus and welcome to another episode. Today we're going to do a really in-depth technical and fundamental analysis on Tesla. I'm going to show you why I still think it's one of the most amazing investments for the long term. Like I've been saying since 2015, if you'll follow me on Twitter, we're up 40 times since that buying time. It was $80, now more than $3,500 a share. So big congratulations to you. I want to also shout out everyone on the Stock Guru channel who bought, the 40,000 of you almost. If you're not one of my subscribers, hit the subscribe button, the bell, the thumbs up button, become one. If you bought Bitcoin when I said in August at $9,000, you're now up $51,000 in just over, 10 months or 9 months. You're up $51,000. You're also up massive on Tesla. If you've been following this channel, you're up more than 100%, 120%. On Twitter, you're up more than 120%. Apple, you're up around 50%. What other gains did we have? Ethereum is up more than 150%. We also have Disney up more than 150%. We just did amazing the last 11 months of this channel. This channel is only 11 months old and we're already at 40,000 subscribers, 40,000 investors. And we're going to go pretty in-depth in Tesla here. We're going to go all into the technicals, the fundamentals. We're going to read the news and I've got 3 exact price targets for Tesla and I've got a surprise at the end of the video. So make sure you watch through to see all that. We're going to really look at the news for Tesla as well. So I hope you like this. I hope you're going to learn a lot. This will teach you a lot, but everything you're going to learn here, if you've been looking at getting into stocks and you keep missing out and your friends are buying Bitcoin and they've made money and you just keep fearing it or think it's difficult or you've just been told it's difficult or you've been burnt before, you can, everything you're going to learn here, you learn how to do in the Stock Guru Master Course in the description, the pinned comment or www.stockguru.us. I've had tens of thousands of students. You can see some of their reviews here. I've made many multi-millionaires. The course is $333 and it's the best thing you could possibly buy as an investment, I believe, and so do, again, all these reviews from students here. So let's jump into the technical analysis for Tesla now. Now we're jumping to the technical analysis for Tesla. The market does look like it's opening kind of relatively in the green today. Let's sort it by sort change. Sort change only sorts by the percentage movement, not the pre-market movement. But MVIS, if you've been following this channel since August of last year, I made a video of MVIS at $2.50 on the speculation that Microsoft was going to buy them when we found the HoloLens 2, the Microsoft's main AR product, has the MVIS chip inside it. Since then, it went from $2.50 to $17. So that's around an 800%, 700% gain. So if you put $10,000 there, you have $70,000 in August, from August, which is beautiful. Boeing is rising quite a lot, and that was a good buy for us. If you've been following my live trades in the YouTube membership section, you know I've been buying a lot of Boeing. And it was perfectly timed on this MA cross on the, let's go to the yearly. We also had a big cup and handle forming here. We actually bought this, so that was beautiful. The overall trend of Boeing is now it's changed. Since this big drop that we had in COVID, the overall trend of Boeing, that bottomed out and it's now trending up again on this trend line. So Boeing's recovery, we might expect a full recovery by 2022 January. $390 for Boeing if it continuously follows this trend line up, which it does look like it's doing. I really like Boeing because it is a good COVID recovery play and it was so badly hurt, but it was very good when we were buying it down here at $80. Not so much now at $269. There's only around another 70% to go, but it is a good long-term company, Boeing. So you're buying a discount company for the very long term. So it's not so bad. But I'll make a video on Boeing also today, but let's look at Tesla. We're going to do the technicals on Tesla, and then we're going to go into the news and the fundamentals, look at their revenues, their sales, how much money this company is making. So this is Tesla's price movement over time. I'm using tradingview.com to get these charts. Tradingview.com is the best for getting technical charts like this. It's a website and an app that you can use on my phone. Right now, I'm doing all of this on my phone. You learn how to do this in the Stock Guru Master Course in the description, the pinned comment, or www.stockguru.us. And the course, if you purchase the course by Tuesday, 8 p.m. New York time, so in the next 2 days, you go in the chance to win 1,000 USD. So one of my students takes the course, someone wins 1,000 USD, so they have the capital to invest. And the course is $333, and it's made many, many millionaire students and multi-millionaire students. You can see them in the lives, you can see them in the comments, you can see them in Twitter. And for $333, it's probably the best thing you could ever invest in. So this is the movement of Tesla over time. Since COVID crashed down here, it went to I wouldn't call that a very big low. It went from $206 down to $88. And now since then, it's gone up all the way to $900 from here. And now come down to around $693. Tesla, I believe in the long term, is a $4,000 stock in a 1 to 5 year time frame. So I'm still expecting around a 400% growth in the 1 to 5 year time frame. So putting $1 million into Tesla now in the long term, I believe will be $4 million. But we're still going to try, what I teach in the Stock Room Master course is you're buying companies, 5 companies in diversified industries, 5 in the industry you love. If Tesla is one of them, you don't want to put all your money in one go into Tesla. For example, if someone did that here, and that's what most investors do, and that's the big mistake they make, because when they did that at $900, say they put $1 million into Tesla at $900, and then Tesla drops down to $500. They went from $1 million to $500,000. And that's the mistake nearly everyone makes when they're getting into the stock market. They invest all their money in one go. And when these big movements happen, they go from $1 million to $500,000. They panic, they kill themselves, they get depressed, they sell their stocks, they kill their family. You know, like crazy shit happens when things happen like this. So you want to avoid this completely. You want a dollar cost average. And this is the most powerful thing that I teach in the Stock Room Master course. And it's going to save a lot of people a lot of pain and suffering and just growth, and you're going to have much better returns in the market because you're not reliant on this one big movement. In the long run, if you understand how this whole thing works, that you're buying companies for the long term, you actually, when you own one stock of Tesla, it's $693. If you own one of it, you're business partner with Elon Musk. You can go to the shareholder meetings. Tesla cars, when you see a Tesla car drive past, that's your product. That's someone sold, that you sold to someone. You literally own the company when you own one share of Tesla. So a lot of people spend $700 on holidays or $700 on a car or something, but they won't buy a company that they actually own, and they own a part of this company. And that's the power of the stock market. And that's why you want to get involved. And what I've noticed is when people actually understand this, especially young kids, when they take the Stock Room Master course, instead of buying like Nike shoes or Adidas clothes or even Apple iPhones, they'll still buy Apple iPhones, but they'll also realize they can buy Apple the stock. And for how much is Apple right now? For $121, they can own a piece of Apple the company. And every iPhone they see is then their product. It gives you kind of like a nice understanding when you understand that. Instead of buying an iPhone, you could have bought 10 shares of Apple. You could have 10 pieces of the company Apple. And then every single iPhone you see around you is your product. And that's really powerful when you understand this. Because then you're going to really start spending your money differently. Instead of buying the products, you'll start buying the companies. And that will change your life when you actually do that. You'll go from having to work for money to really having money work for you. And that's the key. So this is the movement of Tesla over time. It's climbing on this main trend line. As you can see, this blue trend line, Tesla's been climbing it for a while. So we're looking what's going to be happening to Tesla. We're going to try and predict what's going to happen in May, September, even going into 2022. We're going to try and predict what's going to happen to the price of Tesla. And if you actually look at this trend line, it's not so difficult to predict. It is moving on this trend line, and the trend is your friend. Always remember this, the trend is your friend. It's your best friend. Always go with the trend. Never go against the trend. Because what that means is if you try to short Tesla, if you're trying to catch these movements down, yes, sometimes you will make money, and a lot of my students do this trading, but you need to be careful because you're going against the overall trend. At any point, Tesla can do something like this. And then your trade down here, you're short there, even you're trying to make a little bit of money, you've lost your long-term position. But what we do is we try to invest at each of these we're trading but investing for the long term. So we're trying to buy at each of these points every month. So if you had, say, $10,000 to invest in Tesla, you wouldn't put it all down up here at this point when Tesla was at $900. It would have been better that you split your $10,000 into $1,000 increments, and every month you try to buy a Tesla, but you trade while you buy. So you buy Tesla here, $1,000. You buy Tesla here, $1,000. But you're actually profiting each time you're buying into your company. And that's the power of this. So when Tesla seems to do this pattern again, it looks like Tesla is following this channel. So if it does keep following this channel like it's been doing for the last year, then this is the pattern we're seeing going to 2022. Around the end of 2021, we'd be sitting at $1,600 for Tesla, which is around 3x from here. Right? 700, 1,400, 1,600, about, it'll be 2.2 times. So if you put $10,000 here, by the end of the year, you would, if it does hit these targets, you'll be having around $22,000. But if Tesla does go on another parabolic, like it's been doing the last few years, you could see some movement like this, and then, but the goal is you want to be owning this company for the long term, and you want to look at these companies on the actual trend lines going into the long term, not to focus so much on these little movements here, but understand that you're buying this company for 5 to 10 years, and that's what the stock market is for, a place for you to buy companies, a place for you to own companies. You want to own these companies for the long term. So you're not owning this company for one day, because it's kind of, even if you were to like think of it logically, if you were to open any business, you wouldn't open a business for one day. You would open a business for 1 year to 10 years, preferably for 50 years if you could, a business that's profitable, that's growing. So you got to look at your stocks like that. You're not buying these companies for one day. You're buying these companies that you want to keep investing in. You keep giving them your money for 5, 10 years on the expectation that they're getting that money and your money and doing something to make you more money. That's why you buy businesses. And that's what I'm expecting from Tesla. And if you've been following me since 2015 when I started buying Tesla, if you invested $100,000 then, you have $4 million now. If you invested even $1,000 then, you have around $40,000 now. So that's the power of buying amazing companies for the long term, and that's what your goal is. And Tesla is still climbing this major trend line. If it does go on this green parabolic that I'm expecting, we could really see huge movements up for Tesla. And I believe Tesla will go into further parabolics because I believe it's going to be one of the biggest companies in the world, like I've been saying since 2015. So there's a lot of potential for Tesla. But now on this, if we follow this trend line, and it did work out perfectly here during this whole NASDAQ crash, or correction, not crash, Tesla held at this 539 line. So it's still climbing this trend line. And now it looks like it's bounced off that, right? And now it's starting to head up to this trajectory. So possibly by, what date is this? May. The 1st of May, we're going to have Tesla hitting, I'll put in the targets, it'll be around, by the 30th of April, we'll have Tesla hitting possibly $1,168. If it keeps following this current pattern. To me, it does look like it can do that because they are about to print, they already printed $1.9 trillion yesterday, and they're about to hand it out to all of the entire US economy. To put that in perspective, everyone, in 2008, there was $1 trillion of US money supply in existence. In the last year, they have now printed $6 trillion. There's 6 times more money printed than there was entirely in 2008. And that's why I believe we're going to have a mega melt-up of equities, Bitcoin, gold. I think this thing is just beginning because people are really not understanding how much money they're printing. But in the long term, it doesn't matter. We don't care about Trump. We don't care about 2008 financial crash. We don't care about the dot-com bubble. We don't care about COVID. Every time these dip, you got to think of these as little hills on the climb of Everest. And when the dot-com era crashes, that's a hill. And when COVID comes, that's another hill. And you buy the bottoms of those hills, and in the future, you're climbing Everest with your stock. And in 5 to 10 years from now, these companies, the US economy is going to be stronger. This capital world, this digital world, this technological age, this Tesla age just started. This has all just begun. Half the world is not even connected to the internet yet. There's going to be another 3 billion customers coming online in the next 5 to 10 years. Not to mention population to growth, technological advancement. This is only beginning. So it's a good time. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time to plant a tree is right now. And that's what you need to be doing, especially if you're about to get money and you should learn what to do with it. In the Stockroom Master course, in the description, pin comment, take it and learn this kind of stuff. So these are my projections for Tesla if it keeps following this pattern. Stochastic and RSI, everything's actually inclining to this same pattern playing out because we have squeeze mob turning green and it's squeezing, it's getting tighter. In the Stockroom Master course, I teach you how to do all this. In the description, pin comment, you find the links, and www.stockroom.us, you learn how to use these indicators. They're very specific indicators and there's thousands of them, but I really like these ones. I've used all the indicators. You can spend your entire lifetime learning technical analysis. It's part of an economics degree, actuaries degree. It's a very powerful kind of learning or method to predict movements in stock prices, forex markets, cryptocurrencies, many kind of. So squeeze mob turning green, stochastic RSI heading up, huge volume coming in, and it looks like Tesla will play out this pattern going into the long term. So my targets going into May are 1,100 for Tesla. As it climbs that way, these targets are still in play. 690. We have all these stops along the way. Why are these yellow ones here? Why are these targets along the way and potential bounces off them? Because these were previous resistances. As Tesla was climbing up, it had multiple times along this resistance. As it was coming down, it had supports. So these lines, when it comes back up in the future, is going to be future resistances. And again, I know this seems complicated if you're just hearing this or you're not one of the Stockroom students, but you have to, once you take the course, you'll understand everything that I'm talking about. And I have a 75-year-old grandma, Laurel, doing this. I have Rosie bought her 6-year-old daughter Alexa this, and she's doing this, and she's buying stocks with her mom in the stock market. And I have tens of thousands of students, and you can just see reviews from them there. I've made many millionaires, many multi-millionaires. I believe I've made thousands of millionaires, actually. I would love to actually get some kind of tally. There's around 40,000 people watching, subscribing to this channel now, almost 40,000. If you're not one of them, hit the subscribe, the bell, and the thumbs up button. So, and I want to say big congratulations, everyone. Still, every day I want to say this to anyone that bought Bitcoin. Bitcoin hit $60,000, which is amazing. If you were early in this, you were buying Bitcoin at $100, or if you mined it, or if you got in even last year, when I made those videos in August at $9,000, you're up around, you're already very wealthy. So I want to say big congratulations to you. And I had this understanding that they're going to do mass wealth redistribution to the younger generations. And I believe this is just beginning. So if you're a young person and you're not yet wealthy, my recommendation is invest in things and learn what I'm doing and learn what the other 40,000 stock gurus are doing, and start investing in stuff. Because what I've understood for the last 3 years around, the older generation needs to move a mass amount of wealth down to our generation for us to start having large families, to have houses, to provide for them. You understand? If we're not financially secure, if we don't start having families and kids and being stable in our generations, there's not going to be anyone to look after the older generations. And that's why they're panicking. All these old people with all these old legacy wealth, they're moving trillions down to the new generations because they need us to start looking after them. And that's my understanding for the last 3 years, and it's made many of you wealthy, so big congratulations. But again, 20 years ago, best time to plant a tree. The next best time is right now. So don't think you missed. There's always opportunity, and this wealth movement is just beginning. The amount of money they're printing, all this kind of digital age that's coming up. I think a lot of money is going to move out of gold, out of these old kind of legacy wealth mindsets and legacy wealth assets into this digital world. And that's why I'm very focused on this. But I teach you to buy 10 companies and one of those is cryptocurrency in the Stock Room Master Course, 5 diversified industries, which means like construction, medical, transportation, biotech, etc. And 5 in the industry you know and love, and mine's biotech and tech. And so squeeze mob squeezing, stochastic and RSI, when they're below the dotted lines, it's undervalued. It's too much selling has happened. Above the dotted lines, it's overvalued. So right now, Tesla is undervalued on the daily candles. Each of these candles represent 1 day. So we've been looking over around 7 months in the market. Right now, it's undervalued and it's heading up. Squeeze mob is squeezing, volume is coming in. All indicators that Tesla is going to be going up, going into March, April, May. Targets along the way are 697, 738. So there's 2 of them, 738, 797, and then all these targets that you're seeing here. I can get rid of this one because already target has been hit, which is beautiful. If you're following the videos from the last few weeks, this 697 target, it hit it and then bounced off it, but it's very close to it right now. That was a resistance. So that line predicted a resistance. That's the power of technical analysis, because you would have known if you're just trading, you would have known to buy here, and then on the resistance, you knew that there would be resistance, so that's a good time to sell. Also, you use the technical analysis to predict this as you do it learning the course. So these are the targets for Tesla still in play, 697, 856, and the long-term target, if it's following this trajectory, this trend line, and this pattern that it's been following for the last year, 1,168 by the 1st of May. And then more than likely following this pattern. But I believe with the money printed right now, people are still underestimating inflation, and we're about to go on this giant parabolic green line, which will be beautiful. So those are the longer term targets. Now we're going to zoom in closer. We're going to click here on the 3-month targets, and we're going to zoom into Tesla, and we're going to see what's going to happen today. We're going to try and predict what's going to happen for the 15th of March, trading day for Tesla today. And this is where a lot of people, a lot of my students, the best strategy, and you really need to do this with the Stockroom Master Course, but a lot of the students also day trade using this analysis. And it's very powerful to do that if you have low amounts of capital, because you're investing in the long term, but you can also make money on the fluctuations on the daily prices. And that's what we're going to try and predict here. Now, it's never 100% accurate, and you always have to do your own due diligence, consult with your brokers. It's all your financial decision. This is what I do in the stock market. These are my understandings, and this is how I'm investing in my strategy. And 40,000 people now, an entire stadium of people watch me every day, so it's quite amazing. But it's not so... I'm getting a lot of praise for a lot of other people's work throughout history. My learnings come from Warren Buffett, Sir Walter John, Ray Dalio, Anthony Robbins. Technical analysis, it's a huge... Every single Walmart, Wall Street person knows technical analysis. All 401k fund managers, many at-home retail investors know technical analysis. So it's not something that I'm doing that's magical. I'm just good at it, and in my course I teach you how to do it, but everyone can do this. So squeeze mob squeezing here. Squeezing means, so when you have this big movements up, this is the explosion of the squeeze. So that was the explosion. The squeeze is when it's getting tight and it's building pressure. That was the squeeze. So the squeezes indicate the time of big explosive movements up. So right now we're having the squeeze. Is it going to come to the downside? It kind of looks like that on the hourly, right? So we're zoomed in now to the hourly. Each of these candles is 1 hour in the stock market. So we're predicting what's happening for today in the stock market, what Tesla's going to try and do for today. And to me, it's got two main things. It's got, normally this would trick a lot of the newer technical analysts or just new people that aren't as experienced in the market, because that to me looks like it would do that, right? If you were just to look at this on a technical perspective. But in the analysis, in these indicators, and that's why I use these specific indicators, it's showing a different story. So that's what the pattern would show, and that's what a lot of people get tricked by. But what it's actually showing me is we have an MA cross here. MA crosses are very powerful. For example, it's not always 100%, but here is an MA cross before this big drop down, moving average cross. Here is an MA cross now on the bottom of this, and it's open heading up. It looks like it's about to close, but it has not yet closed, and it's still heading up. And it's looking like it's going to do this pattern. Very possible that it still can, but to me it's showing me that it might not. We've got stochastic and RSI not overbought. They're not above the dotted lines. They're actually coiling to turn and head up more. You see that? They actually, this is why I like these technical indicators. It's curling to head up more. The RSI is also curling to head up more. We also have volume spiking and coming in. We have squeeze mob squeezing, but not yet turning red. These indicate to me we are going to have a further big movement up right now for Tesla. And the targets are still in play. If it doesn't, it's still not 100%. This is where I'm leaning to, that it's a little bit of a trick right now on the technicals, and that we're going to have this kind of movement up for Tesla. But it still might not, it might still play out the other way, and we could have this happen. But that seems unlikely to me, because I think a lot of analysts are seeing this, and they're probably predicting this movement, and that's still possible because it is self-fulfilling prophecy. It could very much do this. RSI, this go red and this come down, and volume just drop off, and we have a fall from 698, 693 to the $600 trend line. But to me, it looks like it's not going to do that. To me, it looks like it's actually, so that is possible scenario. If it's worst case scenario, I'll put that as a red target. If it's like if we don't want that to happen, and if it happens, these are our red targets. These are our strong supports as it comes down, if it does. But to me, it's tricking a lot of the people, and we're going to have this pattern instead. We're going to go green again. We're going to have big explosive squeeze mob green. We're going to have stochastic turn up, RSI turn up, volume come in, and Tesla just bounce straight to 738. And I think it could face resistance there for a little bit, but at the end of trading day, come up to 797. It is very possible for Tesla to do this. And I am actually seeing a very specific pattern here. It's kind of making, it's kind of looking like it's going to do a symmetry kind of movement, right? And I think that's what Tesla is going to do, but I think it's not even going to have this downward movement. I think it's just going to blow past, go up here, come onto this trend line, and then start climbing up to there. By around April, it's going to be hitting 856, my targets, if it does play out this way. But for today's trading day, target 1, 738. Target 2, it's a bit high, but target 2 is very possible, 797. So those are targets for Tesla for today. Target 1, target 2. If it turns to the downside, it will come down to 581 as a major support. But to me, that scenario seems more unlikely. My scenario of the T1 and T2 targets seem most likely for Tesla, which is beautiful. So I hope you learned this like this technical analysis. I hope you learned a lot here. I'll show you another point that Tesla was a great time to be buying on the technicals. So another point would be, for example, here, right? This was in, where is this? November 16th. My students actually caught this movement. We caught this in the video, so a lot of people made huge amounts of money back here because we had a symmetrical triangle. The base of the triangle was the targets for Tesla of 698 from 384. But that was a great buying opportunity on these technicals, because I'll show you why. Now you know kind of how to do this. We have squeeze mob squeezing. We have stochastic oversold, turning a good buying opportunity, turning to head up. We have RSI oversold, turning to head up. We have huge volume coming in, and we have an MA cross here. All indications of a buy. And on those indications, that's when we have this big explosive movement up from 420 to, in the long run, $900. And you would have known to buy that with technical analysis. And I actually made a video catching this movement. So big congratulations, everyone. And in a few 2 months, you would have made more than 100% gains. So in 1 month, actually, a month and a half, $10,000 would be $20,000. $1 million would be $2 million there. And you can learn to predict these movements using technical analysis. Why they work, I want to point out why they work. This is not hocus pocus or some kind of magical thing. It's because all the Wall Street bankers see these conditions, right? All the 401k fund managers, all my students, everyone that's taken the Stockroom Master Course see these conditions. So they all see them, so they put their buy orders there. When they see them and put their buy orders there, when the price comes, their buy orders trigger, and it makes self-fulfilling prophecy. They see it, they put their buy orders trigger, it buys, and the price moves up, and you catch that 100% gain. And that's why technical analysis is so powerful to learn and to really master, and I teach you it in the Stockroom Master Course. Description, pin comment, www.stockroom.us. Now let's go on my Twitter. Let's look at any major news that's coming out for Tesla. So now I'm on my Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter. Stock Guru here is my name. Twitter is amazing. If you're an investor or you're wanting to be and you haven't joined Twitter, that is a mistake. Really join Twitter. I used to have 500 followers on here. Now I'm close to 5,000 followers, and most of you have moved from YouTube onto Twitter. And that's also something super powerful that I teach in the Stockroom Masterclass, how to use Twitter and how to utilize it to follow all your companies. It's an amazing, amazing tool. So follow me. Make sure my name matches on Twitter. Capital preservation and growth is my main kind of slogan. What that means is protecting your money at all costs. Rule number 1 by Warren Buffett when it comes to making money is don't lose money. It's the most powerful thing. Rule number 2, Warren Buffett says, is don't forget rule number 1. So capital preservation, you grow your money, but you protect every dollar of it. Every dollar, your goal is to protect it and grow it. Think of your money as your team. The stocks you're buying are the players that you buy for your team. You want the best 10 players that you can ever spend your money on. The best that are going to win in the stock market as your team. Think of them as football or soccer. You want your team to win in soccer, to win in football. So you buy the 10 best assets with your money, and the ones that are capital preservation, so protecting the money, but with growth. So that's the key, and that's what I teach. Stockguru Mastercourse, you can find the link here, www.stockguru.us. I'll show you some of the reviews from students. So here's the course. This is greetings from Sweden. Brought a Ferrari Scardia following your gains from your channel. I love to invest, etc. Chuck, I'm officially without a mortgage. Thank you, James, for help directing me. Stayfly, I want to share that because of you, I've made over 330,000. Stayfly is now a millionaire. One of his comments will pop up here. You can see all the student comments here. Patrick, he's up $100,000. David is up 450%. Brendan, love you, James. You made my life so much better. Definitely changed my experience in the stock market. He's teaching his kids as well. The course is $333. Again, it's made many, many multi-millionaires and millionaires. So everything you learn here, the buttons and settings to press in your broker to buy stocks, the best brokers for you in your country. I use Charles Schwab. They're amazing. They're the biggest broker in the world. But I teach you the buttons and settings, the brokers for you, and how to buy stocks, and the technical analysis, the charts you saw, etc. You can read down through FAQ, etc. 75 5-star reviews on Gumroad, 85% of them 5-star. You click buy this, and here you put in your credit card information. You're charged $333 and get lifetime access to the course. And anyone that purchases by Tuesday, 8 p.m. New York time, I'm going to announce the winner of 1,000 USD in the live. So if you purchase the course in the next 2 days, you go in the chance to win 1,000 USD. So one of my students, I'm doing this very often. What I'm doing is kind of a tuition. So every time a student buys this, they go in the chance to get kind of a tuition. And this one will be $1,000. I've given out many $1,000 and sometimes $5,000 and other kind of. So Tuesday, 8 p.m. if you purchase the course before then. We also have a members chat room. Stripe is currently blocking the account for some reason, because for some reason a chat room is outside of their process, but they're looking into it. So at the moment it's not working, the chat room. Some problem with Stripe, but it's only been the last 24 hours. So check it out when the video goes. We have in that chat room we have 155 members, 16 millionaires and 6 multi-millionaires trading in there. So it's an amazing group of people. We're just talking during market hours, sharing our ideas, and many entrepreneurs, doctors, lawyers in the chat room. So here you can just see hundreds and hundreds of reviews from students, and it goes for pages. Many students buying houses, paying off mortgages, paying medical bills. I'm 17, I'm up over 70%, 80% since I started watching. And you can just see hundreds of comments, many millionaires and their stories in here. And here's things I've shared recently. Tencent, so China's having a big of a fintech wipeout. $62 billion wiped off Tencent company as they're going after Ma's business empire. So be careful with Baba and all of these Chinese the stocks that are related to Jack Ma at the moment, because they're really like hurting them. This is me on the beach, and this is very key. Only think of what you want to have happen. Very powerful kind of understanding. Millions of situations in people's lives could drastically improve. So this is just things I'm sharing. Bitcoin is now larger than the Canadian dollar. That's very interesting. Bitcoin is now larger than the Canadian dollar in money supply. This is the Stripe thing that I was talking about. You can read the story there. Stripe just blocking the chat for some reason. I would like your support in here. If you could go to Twitter and actually like and share this on your Twitter, it would be awesome. And retweet it. So then we can get some notice and Stripe can fix this issue. This is explaining one Bitcoin. You don't need to buy $60,000 of Bitcoin. You can buy even $150 of Bitcoin if you understand this understanding that you can break it up. It's actually one Bitcoin is 100 million Satoshis, and you can buy 250,000 Satoshis, which is $150, etc. This is the thing I was talking about Stripe, how they've kind of blocked the account for no reason with 48 hours and warning, and then they still haven't fixed it. I've asked the two, these are the co-founders of Stripe, and I want to say a big congratulations to Patrick and John. Their company is now valued as the biggest private company ever, $122 billion valuation of Stripe. And our chat gets blocked for some reason, but hopefully Patrick and John check those out. They're the co-founders of Stripe. These are Elon Musk's top 10 rules for success. Never give up, really like what you do. Don't listen to the little man. Take a risk, do something important, focus on signal over noise, look for problem solvers, attract great people, have a great product, work super hard. This is my breakfast, which is beautiful. So this is information. This is why Twitter is cool. You can follow the CEOs of companies. You can follow Elon Musk, and every time he talks, you can see what the CEOs are doing and thinking even before news agencies do. That's why it's so powerful. So that's my Twitter. And what we can do in Twitter, we can type Tesla. And now we can get all the major news for Tesla sorted by the top news. So we can get it even before news agencies do, because we have even the CEO as friends. You can follow him. So Tesla has now more money by buying and holding Bitcoin than in 13 years of selling cars. Tesla has now made more money by buying and holding Bitcoin in just the last 2 months. Because Tesla bought Bitcoin and held it, they've made more money than 13 years of selling the Tesla cars, which is beautiful. I shared that tweet. Tesla absolutely dominates US EV market with a whopping 79% share in 2020. Obviously, Tesla's it's the iPhone of cars. Why would you buy anything else? It's going to just own the market. That's what I've been saying for 5 years. And I believe Tesla is going to be the biggest company in the world. I give it a $2 trillion valuation between 1 to 5 years. So that still has around a 400%, 500% gain from where we're currently sitting. Tesla has made 32 million per day just holding Bitcoin. Tesla posts a video on semi-truck test track preparing to disrupt another industry. And this is going to be a huge industry to disrupt. 30% of all jobs are transportation. So now we have Tesla's trucks, they're going to drive themselves to deliver packages, and Tesla cars driving around picking up people. So 30% of all jobs, and they're going to really have to address this with UBI, and that's why I believe they're doing this mass wealth redistribution. Oh, that was really cool. Some sound there. It didn't play because you have the microphone, but it made not much sound when it drove past. Hear that? This is the Tesla Semi. Still kind of loud, but nothing compared to a current Semi. Look how quiet that is. This is Tesla. It's on a test track, which is amazing. 1995 wrote, okay, so this is the major news. Tesla factory had more than 400 COVID cases. So what? So did half the world. So they're trying to get Tesla on saying coronavirus wasn't so important. Elon Musk thinks that Coinbase, which helped Tesla buy Bitcoin, should now list Dogecoin so more people can get into cryptocurrency. Everyone, you have to really watch a video that I created, and anyone that watches this video, my aim is 20x for what I'm talking about in that video. After this video, search in YouTube, Elon Musk stock guru, and a video is going to come up. Is Elon Musk about to do a mass wealth redistribution? I've acted on that assumption and that speculation. I have quite a lot of Dogecoin. So Doge is a cryptocurrency it's built off the original Bitcoin code. It's one of the oldest cryptocurrencies out there with Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum. Doge is actually one of the oldest cryptocurrency. And I believe Elon Musk is about to do a mass wealth redistribution, moving Doge. Since I said that tweet, it was 3 cents a cryptocurrency for Doge. Now it's 6 cents. So if you put $10,000 in there, in just a month, you have $20,000. But I believe what Elon Musk keeps hinting at, he says he's going to peg a cryptocurrency. I made a video on this, Elon Musk stock guru in YouTube. Search for it, watch it. He says he's going to peg a cryptocurrency to $1. So if that does play out and it is Dogecoin, like Elon Musk keeps talking about, That would mean a 20x from where we currently are sitting. So $1,000 could be $20,000 if this plays out like I'm assuming. It's speculation. You always do your own due diligence. This is what I'm doing. $10,000 could potentially be $200,000 if it is a 20x and this does play out. So check out my theory, and it's a YouTube video. Again, after this video, Elon Musk stock grew. 20x potential is what I'm targeting. So that's the major news for Tesla. It doesn't seem to be anything really. Tesla, officially a Tesla owner. Let's go. Look at that car. My God, amazing. This is why I did a poll also on my Twitter. It was like 80% of people said they would only ever buy a Tesla again. Tesla factory had more than, yes, we read this. So no major news except what, oh, look at this, the design of the Cybertruck. It's amazing. The products that are coming out for Tesla, the Semi, the Cybertruck, the batteries. Elon Musk has stated many times that the battery section of Tesla will make more revenue, 90% of the revenue of Tesla instead of the cars. Elon Musk expects the car section of Tesla to only make 10% of the revenue, and the battery tech, he said this live, the battery tech 90% of the revenue. So the potential of the battery tech is this is amazing. So this is Tesla Shanghai. They're increasing the factory. Look how big, these are the biggest factories in the world, these Tesla factories. All of them, all the gigafactories are the biggest factories in the world. So that seems to be the major news for Tesla. I'm not seeing anything too major except that the fake media and the news is really trying to push this agenda of the COVID thing, probably to somehow. I wouldn't take on the richest, smartest man in the world. That's not such a good idea. Even the CNBC, they could do it with Trump and everything, but I really wouldn't. If I were them, I would not try to. Tesla and Elon Musk has an online legion. He is like an idol to every single digital tech engineer, programmer in the world. It would not be a good idea for the media and the news to really try to come after Tesla, because I really believe that this new online world that's forming will really like punish the traditional news media. And I think that's something that's going to play out soon. I have these kind of little hunches. So that's the major news. This guy saying some video, the Teslas will never drive themselves. What this means?
I need you to scratch my back.
Okay, who cares? Obviously, the Teslas are driving themselves already, and they keep improving over time. The technology is only just beginning. So that's the major news for Tesla. Let's go into my broker to look at the financials of Tesla. So now we're in my broker, Charles Schwab. Charles Schwab, I really recommend to buy stocks. They are the biggest brokerage company in the world. They're a publicly traded company, so they're on the New York Stock Exchange themselves. You do need a $25,000 minimum if you're not American. If you are American, it's very quick to set up a Charles Schwab brokerage account, especially if you have their bank account. I like Charles Schwab. I'm not affiliated with them. I would love to be, because they are the best broker. They're on the public markets themselves. So they're actually owned by you, the public, who buy the stocks of Charles Schwab. So in Charles Schwab, if you're international, you need $25,000 minimum. The best brokers for you in your country, I teach in the link in the description, the Stock Guru Master Course, www.stockguru.us. So Tesla, TSLA is the ticker. Last price, $693. The bid, $691. What people are willing to pay for the stock. So the bid is what people are willing to pay. The ask is what people are willing to sell, $692. So the ask is what people are willing to pay for the stock, $692. So bid, what willing to pay for the stock, sorry. The ask, what people are willing to sell the stock. So ask is what selling is. So if someone wants to sell their Tesla stock, that's the ask. Someone wants to buy Tesla stock, that's the bid. So people are bidding $691. People are asking to sell the stock $692. On these big companies with large amounts of volume, it doesn't matter because the spread is very little. As you can see, it's a 45-cent spread. I explained that in the course. D-rating by Charles Schwab Equity. The price of Tesla is $35 in 2019, now up to $900, and now sitting at nearly $700. So $30 to $900, 30x. So $1,000 would be $30,000. $1 million would be $30 million in just over 2 years, or just under 2 years. $1 million there is now, would have been at the peak $30 million. Amazing gains for Tesla. Average volume, 47 million shares being traded. Volume predicts price. What is volume? If you were to sell me your Tesla shares and I was to buy them from you, that's a trade. Trading is volume. So this is the amount of people that are buying and selling Tesla right now. It's never been higher. Why it predicts price is because volume predicts price, because when there's a lot of buying and selling and there's a lot of trading, it's usually meaning a lot of people are interested in this company. So the overall trend, massively trending up. A big saying of mine, the trend is your friend. Never go against the trend. Volume predicts price. Huge volume coming in. 47 million shares being traded per day. 1/3 of the shares traded of Apple. So earnings per share, 60 cents. It's a profitable company now, finally. Price to earnings, though, is very high, 1,100 times. What is PE ratio? Price. The price is 693 divided by the earnings, which is 62 cents. So you're paying a premium on Tesla stock of 1,100 times, and that's very, very high. PE ratio is usually the golden ratio that Warren Buffett teaches is 20 times. 20 times premium. You're buying a company, you're willing to pay 20 times premium because you expect that stock to move up in the future, and a lot of people do. 1,100 times premium means you're overpaying. And when the PE ratio is so high, it's very important that you spread out your capital and you DCA over a longer period of time. Really pay attention to this. You have to learn, you have to take the course to understand this. When the PE ratio is so high, make sure your dollar cost averaging is over a longer period of time. It's the most important thing you could do when investing in Tesla. The forward PE ratio, not so bad, 125 times. So big expectations of growth for Tesla. Market cap, $665 billion, 44% held by institutions. So Tesla's Fairmont factory records more than 400 COVID cases. Again, the same news that all the media keeps pushing. Very interesting. US stocks close, mix is down notches, fifth straight record high. Wall Street pivots on rebound bets, down notches, fifth straight high. Tesla CEO board sued over Musk's erratic tweet. I wouldn't be going against Tesla right now. It's not a good idea. I keep saying that, but they seem to be trying to do something there. The SEC is also currently going after Tesla for Dogecoin. So Charles Schwab derating, Credit Research neutral, Ned Davis neutral, Argus, which I'm normally very aligned with. I really like Argus's analyst reports. They're almost every single time matching my analysis. So I really like Argus. CFI 3-star, Reuters Research hold, market edges avoid. And this is why Charles Schwab is amazing, because you can all see all the analysts' expectations. Usually they're wrong, except for Argus though. Me and Argus are the only ones that are usually correct. If you actually follow my videos, you can see that for yourselves. But it's just yes. So I would rate it a buy, Tesla, but I'm going to show you why. You need to DCA over a long period of time. The technical analysis was showing a buy, but also this is the main reason that I see it as a buy. The main reason I say Tesla as a buy is because the income statements, the annual income statements. In 2016, Tesla was valued at $7 billion. It had revenue, of $7 billion. Total revenue of sales. So what is the total revenue? It's the sales. Now, in these income statements, balance sheets, cash flow statements, I teach you how to read them in the Stock Guru Master Course and in a much slower pace than this. So $7 billion in 2016. These values are in millions. So they made $7 billion Tesla in 2016, $11 billion 2017, 21 2018, 2019 $24 billion, 2020 during COVID, $31 billion of sales. $30 billion, $31 billion of sales in 2020 during COVID. So they went from $7 billion in 2016 to $30 billion 4 years later. And that's why I really like Tesla, and that's why I'm very bullish Tesla, because of this unbelievable revenue growth. And they're just notching up Shanghai. This was before the Shanghai Gigafactory. This was before the German Gigafactory that's coming online. And this is before optimization and just massive output. So I really believe this number. To put it in perspective, my actual projections for revenues, currently Tesla is manufacturing 500,000 cars per year. They expect by 2022 to manufacture 1 million cars per year. I believe they'll do it this year, 1 million cars. But to put that in perspective, 500,000 cars here. China alone needs 1 billion EV cars manufactured by 2035 when they promise to go all electric. Let alone Europe 2035, all of America by 2050, Biden has said. So that means they're either going to start, if they keep manufacturing 500,000 cars or even 1 million cars, if it was 1 million cars, it will take them 1,000 years to manufacture just enough cars for China. So it's either going to take them 1,000 years, or they're going to start increasing their production to 30 to 100 million cars a year to meet demand. So that potentially is a 60x increase in revenues if that plays out. And that's what I believe Tesla might be doing. And a 60x increase in revenues is even difficult. From 6 times 30, 6 times 3 is 18. So it'll be 180 billion in revenues is $180 billion in revenues is 6x. So a 60x would be $1.8 trillion in revenues. I think that calculation's correct. Let me work it out 1 second. Yes, it was correct, $1.8 trillion. I'm actually proud of myself for doing that calculation. A 60x increase in revenues if I predict their cars manufacturing, and I also predict that their profit margins are going to get better. So that would put that at $1.8 trillion potential revenue. in the future. And that's why that's a massive increase. That's 60x. And that's why I believe Tesla is going to be the biggest company in the world. 1.8 trillion. To put that in perspective, Apple currently makes around so Tesla's projected revenues, Apple currently makes $0.3 trillion, Apple, a year. And I believe Tesla in the future potentially can make this kind of revenues. And that's why I see this as one of the best investments still now, as long as dollar cost average, because that high PE ratio. But as I've been saying since 2015, if you invested even $10,000 then, you have $400,000 now. And that's why I believe in the future, this growth is still for my potentially, it's still 60x times in the long, long run of Tesla. But in 1 to 5 years, my projections are $2 trillion, which is around 500% gains for Tesla. But these are just my projections. This is what I'm doing my investment on, but you always do your own due diligence. You're a broker. You can look after your own money. Normalized income before tax. So what we're looking for now, what we're looking for in these financial statements, huge revenues, huge year-on-year revenue growth, large profit margins, large amounts of cash. So right now, Tesla has, from that $30 billion in sales, they have around $1 billion in profits. So that's a very low, that's a 3% profit margin, a very low profit margin. So Tesla needs to really increase that. And I believe with the China Gigafactory producing their own batteries, better production, they're going to get that percentage to 10 to 20% profit margins. So now let's look at the cash that Tesla has and see if it has enough cash. So again, we're looking for huge revenues. We tick $30 billion in revenues, from 24 billion to 31 billion in 1 year. Tick, huge year-on-year revenue growth. 3% profit margins, not really a tick, but expectations of much higher profit margins. The last thing we're looking for, and I teach you how to read these cash flow statements in the Stock Guru Mastercourse, is cash. So how much cash does Tesla have? Tesla currently has $13 billion in cash. So it's got, that's changed for last year. It has net cash and balance reserve for future use in 2020, $19 billion, $19.9 billion, almost $20 billion in cash. So tick, it has huge amounts of cash. So let's have a summary for Tesla now. So in summary, I still rate Tesla by the technicals with my exact targets, as I've shown you, are still in play. Tesla to me is still an amazing company to be buying and huge potential future revenues. I predict in 1 to 5 years that Tesla will be sitting at $2,000 a share. In the technicals, it is a buy on all time frames, all trending up. On the fundamental side of things, the revenues also huge. Year-on-year revenue growth, profit margins improving, large amounts of cash. Tesla is also a buy. So on both technical fundamental analysis is indicating that Tesla is a buy, and I will be buying more of Tesla. And I really believe it's one of the best investments you can make even now, but you need to dollar cost average over a longer period of time. So I hope you like this video. I hope you learned a lot. Everything you see here, you learn in the Stock Guru Mastercourse. In the description, the pinned comment, or www.stockguru.us. And again, if anyone that purchased Stock Guru Mastercourse in the next 2 days goes in the chance to win 1,000 USD. I'm also going to do a live code right now. So everyone that watched through to the end of the video, thank you for following me the whole way through. Because of that, you can purchase the Stock Guru Mastercourse for 40% off, which is $199. You put in the code TESLA when you check out. www.stockguru.us, so $199 currently, and put in the code word Tesla, and you go in the chance still to win that 1,000 USD in 2 days. So I hope you like this video. I hope you learned a lot here. Everything you saw, you really need to take the course to fully understand what I'm doing. I wouldn't recommend doing any of this in the stock market without understanding it fully in the course. So this is James from Stock Guru. Have a beautiful trading day. Let's make a lot of money in the market. I am still expecting a huge blow off top because of this printing of money. I hope you like this video, and I'll see you again tomorrow.